What's going on, everybody? I got a Reddit reaction for y'all. It's something new that I'm doing here, and I thought it'd be very interesting. So let's jump into it. This is from the adulting group on Reddit. So it's a woman here, and she's asking the question in pertaining to her boyfriend. So it says, looking for an older person's perspective. Am I wrong for considering breaking up with my boyfriend that refuses to work? Interesting. She goes on to say, so I've been with my boyfriend off and on for about 3 years. I graduated college in 2022 and he graduated in 2021. He was an athlete, so he had eligibility to pay up until 2022. So he's been out of college since 2022 as well. I've since started my graduate program and will have my doctorate by May of 2026. My boyfriend has never had a job, ever. He still lives with his parents and he has no interest in working at all. I asked him this past December why is he so opposed to working, and he just said it didn't want, he didn't, excuse me, she got a typo right there. Said he didn't want to work for anyone, but doesn't really know what he wants to do either. I told him that I hope he figures it out before 2026, because if otherwise, I'd have to break up with him. I know it's harsh, but at that point, we'd be 26 and 27 years old, and he still not have a job. He got really mad about that, which I understood, but again, you should want to support yourself. I've just been waiting around the past few months to see if he'd even consider doing anything, and nothing. Fast forward to May. He still doesn't have a job and is still doing the same things we were doing when we were in college. We had plans to move in together this month, but I called it off since he's unemployed. He calls me bougie and stuck up because I feel this way. He wants to start a clothing company but has put forth no effort at all. His parents don't make him work, clean, or really anything. What should I do? I love him a lot. I don't want to be controlling, but I really have goals and things that I like out of life, and I don't see that happening without a partner that has the same mindset as me. Wow. This is, look, let me tell you something. You gotta understand something. You can't change people, right? They got to want to change themselves. Something right now, it sounds like he's just trying to figure it out in life right now. A lot of young people go through that. I know myself, being in my 20s, I went through that a lot. You know, I went to trade school and stuff. Come to find out, I wasn't really liking being Mr. Fix It and all that type of stuff. And you just know you just don't want to be broke and messed up, right? So you try something, but I don't got 4 years of college in me, so I went to a trade school and I don't like to be Mr. Fix It. So you went job, kind of job, how figuring out what you like and stuff like that, and you kind of find what you like later on. But the key thing is I was trying, I was working. So to sit there and not try and not do anything and just like it's gonna fall out the sky, that's a problem. It sounds like he got some maturing he needs to do. And honestly, it sounds like it's something that needs to happen to him in order to light a fire up under him, right? Some type of experience he has to go through to light a fire up under him. His parents aren't doing it. They're not pushing him to do anything. You trying to get him to do something like that, but he ain't really trying to feel what you saying and all that stuff. To him, you kind of nagging and annoying him. You getting on my nerves, constantly repeating this, throwing this. Cause I promise you, he probably feel like you throwing all that stuff you doing in his face. He trying to figure it out. He don't know how to figure it out, and you making him kind of feel less of a man, in a way. And he probably won't ever admit that. And he probably turn around playing victim with you and stuff like that. But That's 9 out of 10 times is probably how he's feeling every time you bring that up. You know what I'm saying? So what you gotta understand this is you can't change people. They have to want change for themselves. You could tell him from today to tomorrow, oh, why it'd be great for you to go ahead and start to support yourself. God forbid your parents could anything can happen to them at any given time. Then what you're gonna do? You're gonna be lost. You're gonna be asked out. Da 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 da. Scrambling, looking for answers and stuff really gonna get hard. Or you can take advantage of your time. You can get out here trying to start earning some money. You say you want to build a clothing company. Have you been doing any research on that? You need capital to start a business. How you gonna get capital? You ain't working. You get what I'm saying? You need to start doing. Are you doing anything to build up credit if you're trying to get a credit line with the business? Are you doing any research as far as who's in the industry? How does the industry work? Who's the competitors? What kind of clothes? Who's your target audience? All this stuff. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things that got to light a fire up under him. But what I would say to you, again, you can't change people, and you cannot wait for somebody to get their shit together in order for you to live your life. You only got one life. That's real talk. That goes for anybody out there. You only got one life to live. You can't sit there and say, oh, don't worry, I'll do it on my next lifetime. Look, none of us know it's going to be a next lifetime. We only here now. The only thing in this world that's guaranteed to you when you are born is that you are going to die one day. You're not guaranteed to get love. You're not guaranteed to get rich. You're not guaranteed to eat good. You're not guaranteed to have a roof over your head, to have a car. You're not guaranteed any of that. That's the God's honest truth. So you cannot be sitting there waiting for somebody else to get their stuff together so you can live your life. You got to take the initiative and understand this like, yo, I love this person, but at any given time, yeah, I might have to cut this person off because I got goals. I got things I want to accomplish out of my life. And I'll be damned if I sit there and let me messing with this person take me away from those goals. And when you understand that, you're going to also understand this. When you on the road to pursuing what it is that you want to be out of life, sacrifices are going to be made anyway. Cutting people off, ending relationships, y'all going y'all separate ways, whether that's in business or, or just life in general, that is going to happen. You're going to have to get used to making some hard decisions like that. You got to understand that. You cannot be waiting for other people to live their life. Am I saying leave them? No. Because again, it sounds like you got to do some maturing and he got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? He got to really figure it out. If you're trying to start a business and stuff like that, again, you got to be doing research. You got to be putting in the work. You got to understand that because it sounds good as an idea until you start to put the work in and you start realizing, damn, I ain't really that happy doing this. I'm stressed out. It's easy to work for a job, to be honest with you, tends to running a business. You're doing like a bunch of people's jobs. You're doing marketing. You're shipping, packing products. If you got a physical product, if you ain't got no digital product, at least sell itself over and over and over. You don't have to worry about inventory and stuff like that. But if you don't have that, you got to be in control of inventory, sourcing products. You get what I'm saying? Packing, shipping. Something don't go right, they need a return. Customer service. You got to do all that shit. That shit is all on you. So you're doing like a gazillion people's jobs. But at the same token, you reap the benefits because you can set your own hours sometimes. Because in certain businesses, if your clients they're available at 5 o'clock or whatever time they're available, guess what? You got to be available at that time. You got to make those sacrifices. So running a business is not the easiest thing in the world. Hence, this is why they give a lot of business owners so many tax credits and they pass the tax burden along to the employees because all you got to do is show up to work. The business owner is the person who actually got to get up and make the sacrifices and run the risk because, listen, whether that business owner makes a profit or not, they still got to pay their employees. They got to get paid. They could really run just break even and not have no money to pay their bills, just have enough money to keep the business afloat. And they got to figure out how they're going to pay their mortgage or pay their rent and all that type of stuff. This is the shit that a lot of business are, especially when you're new. So he got to figure it out, what he really wants to do. You can push him and encourage him and stuff, but at the end of the day, you got to understand he has to take that initiative for himself. You can encourage him, you can push him, say, I support you, look, I love you. But yeah, you got to do that. When you got to do it. You want it, you got to go after it. And another thing, if he's starting a business, I don't know anybody who comes fresh out of college or trade school and just say, hey, I just finished electrician trade school. I'm going to go ahead and run a business and I'm going to do this. Yeah. I'm just going to buy my truck and all that. You just got to come out, work for somebody. You got to learn the business. You got to get your experience up with the industry. Know what you're doing. Build a clientele base. Be proven so you're confident enough to go out there and be like, if I get a job, I'm confident enough that I can do the job. Because again, you don't get a second chance at a first impression. So it's a lot of variables that go in that. Are you looking for mentors and stuff like that? It's mad things. And again, the biggest thing I would tell you, sweetheart, is don't be waiting for somebody else to live their life. I would say the same thing with a man. If you got a woman, she ain't on shit, yo, you got a life to live. You can't be canceling trips and all that stuff. Yo, you never know when, God forbid, another pandemic or something gonna pop off and they shut down the airport and all that stuff and you can't do that. That stuff ain't give. If that shit ain't teach us anything, is that, yo, tomorrow anything could happen, bro. Live your life. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed 48 hours from now. You're not guaranteed a week, a year from now. None of that. So stop putting your life on hold for somebody else to get their shit together. It don't make no sense. So that would be my advice to you. You gotta figure it out. He young, he sound immature. He got to figure it out. But if you gave yourself a timeline, hey, if you feel like that's the best is to move on, you got to figure it out. You got to do what you got to do. But you got a life to live at the end of the day. It is what it is.